You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4 on this Tuesday. Big question, where did the sun go?
Yeah, exactly.
Timing.
It makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does. The number of 60-degree days, though, are on the rise. Ooh. That's the good news, while days with freezing temperatures are shrinking fast.
Okay, so glass half full. It was cloudy today, but the temperatures are pretty mild in Jacob.
Meteorologist Jacob Montesano is here to tell us, we were just talking about this, some active weather on the way, maybe an alert day on Friday.
Yeah, we are going to see potentially our first good chance of severe weather on Friday, but we're still going to see some nice temperatures before and afterwards. Now, looking at the current conditions right now, the current radar showing some light sprinkles for areas south of Madison. This may continue for a few more hours, but this is not going to be a big issue whatsoever. We then will finally see those clouds clear up only after the sun has already set, and we'll continue to see relatively clear skies overnight, maybe a few clouds here and there. Temperature wise, right now we are in the 40s, pretty similar to yesterday, middle 40s for a lot of the area. But how about lower 50s for areas off to the north that have seen a little bit more sunshine than us here in the southern portion of the state? Looking at the forecast for the overnight hours, again, we'll see those clear skies with lows dropping into the upper 20s. So a little chilly, but certainly not too cold by any means. These temperatures will be above average compared to the average lows for this time of the year. And tomorrow is looking very, very nice. We'll have highs getting into the lower 50s for most, and we'll see plenty of sunshine as well. Kind of similar to right now, maybe a few sprinkles at times for areas south of Madison, but should be pretty dry tomorrow. But that won't be the case for the end of the work week. We'll have that rain I mentioned Friday, also Thursday, and I'll also continue talking more about what we can expect after that. And at some point in the forecast, there is going to be a cool down. So I'll talk in detail about all of that coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. First at 4, as the war with Iran enters day 4, U.S. Central Command says new strikes have taken out key Iranian military sites, while Iran continues to strike back across the region.
Officials say the fighting has killed 6 U.S. service members, 11 people in Israel, and more than 780 people in Iran. The State Department has closed its embassy in Kuwait indefinitely and is ordering the evacuation of non-emergency staff and family members from several other Middle Eastern countries, including the United Arab Emirates. Defense officials confirmed during a Pentagon briefing Wisconsin Army National Guard units are currently deployed to Kuwait and Iraq, operating under U.S. Central Command. The deployment involves 650 soldiers from 2 Wisconsin battalions.
In a statement on social media, Governor Tony Evers said, quote, "As we continue monitoring the war in the Middle East, Kathy and I are praying for the health, safety, and safe return of our Wisconsin National Guard members currently supporting ongoing military operations overseas. We urge all Wisconsinites to join us."
Back here at home today, Urban Triage hosted Seen and Unseen, an event focused on bringing awareness to the homeless experience.
Jalen Banks joins us live from the Capitol Square this afternoon with more on how local organizations are helping those in need. Jalen?
Susan and Brady, today many gathered around the Capitol Square for Seen and Unseen, an event aimed at shedding light on the struggles of those facing homelessness by allowing participants the opportunity to, quote, kind of live out the experience of what it's like to be homeless just for a day, though. In a recent survey by the city of Madison, those experiencing homelessness in the city increased year over year since 2023. And in 2025, just under 800 people faced homelessness in Madison. And in today's event, an organizer who's faced homelessness themselves wanted people to see what are some of the root causes of homelessness in Madison.
I felt their pain. I've lived the pain. I've broken down in that shelter. I've had panic attacks. We are still human beings. Right. We deserve to be treated like human beings. And even though I'm not in the shelter anymore, I still want to help.
Madison Police Chief John Patterson says that the department has taken notice of the increase of homelessness in the city and that they plan on putting more resources towards helping out that problem. Now, tonight at 5, we'll hear from Chief Patterson as far as how they exactly plan on deploying some of those resources. Again, that'll be tonight at 5. But for now, reporting live from downtown Madison, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
We will see you at 5, Jalen. Thank you. In Madison, a woman was thrown from her car after a crash with a dump truck on the Beltline this morning. It happened around 10 on the Beltline between Rimrock Road and Park Street. When first responders got to the scene, the woman was alert and taken to the hospital. The dump truck driver was not hurt, and the crash closed part of the Beltline for just over an hour. Unfortunately, we do not have any updates on the woman's condition.
The city and town of Beloit will begin sharing fire and EMS services right away under a new 1-year agreement. It was approved unanimously last night, and the city will now provide battalion chiefs and, as staffing allows, operate a 4th ambulance in the region with costs split between the two communities. The partnership also includes joint training and skills testing as leaders continue discussions about potentially consolidating fire and EMS operations.
The City of Madison is launching year 3 of its Building Energy Savings Program, expanding requirements to commercial buildings over 25,000 square feet. Owners must benchmark energy use by June 30th, and buildings over 100,000 square feet must complete tune-ups by October 30th. City leaders say the program is already seeing strong compliance and could significantly cut energy costs and carbon emissions as it enters its final phase.
Well, cheese lovers and expert judges from all around the globe are gathering this week for the World Championship Cheese Contest. Judges are working their way through 3,375 cheeses. You need a lot of crackers for that. Well, they're all from Switzerland to France to Japan and much more. They're competing for the title of World Champion. Makers are at the Monona Terrace in the state that, of course, takes pride in its cheese.
Wisconsin has so much to be proud of, and they always rack up a lot of gold at the World Championship Cheese Contest, in spite of the fact that they're up against incredible makers, the Netherlands, the Danes, the Italians. They're all bringing their A game, and Wisconsin does very, very well in comparison.
You are invited to go and experience the contest up close with free samples, guided judging demonstrations, and a front row seat to watch the experts at work from 10 to 3. Now, organizers say you won't be able to buy cheese there, but you may walk away with a new favorite for your grocery list. The new World Champion cheese will be announced on Thursday.
Good luck, everybody. It's a big deal. The Henry Vilas Zoo in Madison is celebrating the reopening of its iconic Tundra Buggy exhibit, a hands-on window into Arctic research and polar bear conservation. The refreshed interior, created in partnership with the Madison Children's Museum, features new interpretive signage. It also has interactive elements designed to inspire kids and adults to imagine themselves as scientists, mechanics, and climate communicators.
The Tundra Buggy is more than just an exhibit. It's really a window into the Arctic research, and there may be a future Arctic researcher here with us today. And you never know until you can see and experience the world around you.
The Free Zoo, which is home now to 3 polar bears, says the updated Tundra Buggy is part of a broader mission to connect local families to global climate changes.
Well, next on Live at 4, primaries in several states could give us an early sign of how eager voters are 8 months from the midterms.
This week, we're springing forward with success in this week's Time for Kids segment. It's already time for daylight saving time once again, and we'll get some tips to get the whole family ready.
And most of us can say we are on our phones more than we'd like to be. Guilty. We hear from health experts about some good habits that can help us use our screens less.
And then Jacob is tracking some rain and alert day conditions later this week. But look, the sun is out now over
back.
Warner Park. It's back. He'll have all the details in the First Warn forecast.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Primary elections are being held tonight in Texas, North Carolina, and Arkansas. The Senate primary in Texas is the most expensive of its kind ever.
Well, voters there are also casting ballots in House districts redrawn at the request of President Trump. These early contests are the first major test of party strength and could expose the issues driving voters to the polls. Karen Hua has the details from Houston.
Voters lined up in the Lone Star State, casting primary ballots in the most expensive Senate race ever, anywhere. There's a three-way Republican contest among longtime incumbent John Cornyn and two more MAGA-friendly conservatives, scandal-ridden State Attorney General Ken Paxton and Houston area Congressman Wesley Hunt.
I'm actually in Wesley Hunt's congressional district.
Republican voter Jana Phillips made a last-minute decision in the voting booth, ultimately picking who she thinks can win.
I hope that Cornyn, will be the winner and can pull off the race in November.
Democrats see an opportunity to flip this seat for the first time in decades.
The stars are aligned where we have a real shot at winning.
Choosing between two young progressive candidates, Dallas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and state lawmaker and seminarian James Tallarico. Voters we spoke with want to see others turn out.
Voting is a critical thing, and if anybody is watching this, having vote, get up and go vote.
If no Republican Senate candidate wins at least 51% of the vote, that race goes into a runoff election in May. Voters are also weighing in on House races in districts newly redrawn at the request of President Trump. The Senate seat is also up for grabs in battleground North Carolina, where primary voters headed to the polls Tuesday.
We're very closely split, but Republicans have a narrow edge. And by all indications, this is shaping up to be a very good year for Democrats, in large part because Donald Trump, the president, is unpopular.
North Carolina election officials say about 25% more voters there cast early ballots than in the 2022 midterm primaries. Karen Hua, CBS News, Houston.
The polls in Texas are open until 7 p.m. local time. They're on Central Time like we are, while North Carolina and Arkansas polls are open until 7:30.
And while they are watching the polls, we are keeping an eye out for alert day conditions later this week, but there's still a handful of 60-degree days sprinkled across the first warn forecast. So, Jacob, what are we looking at?
Well, we're looking at the potential for our first chance of severe weather on Friday. But before that, we will see a few showers Thursday, and temperatures will remain mild even after the potential strong storms Friday, the weekend especially, and early next week looking very good. But we do have an alert day in the forecast for Friday afternoon and Friday night. This is for all of southern Wisconsin, where we could see those strong storms. Right now, hail and gusty winds are the most likely hazards. Still unclear if we'll have a small tornado risk, but we are including that potential, at least for now. So looking at the rainfall chances, this is starting tomorrow morning. We're going to be mostly sunny for much of the day, especially for areas north. Then as we get towards the later overnight hours, we'll see some light rain move in as we get to Thursday morning. This is mostly just going to be in the form of light showers. This is not going to be a big issue. Then as we get towards Friday, you can see off to the west this system building in, and it's going to push across our area once we get towards the afternoon hours Friday. Heavy rain is certainly possible on top of the potential for those strong storms. And as we get to the overnight hours, still could see some of the thunderstorm activity as rainfall is expected to last into early Saturday morning. But the good news for the weekend is that that rain's going to clear up very quickly Saturday, and we're going to see pretty much dry conditions for Saturday afternoon and all of Sunday. But again, looking at Friday, that's where we're keeping most of our attention on. There is a moderate risk for wind and hail. Again, we're keeping that slight risk of tornadoes right now. We'll have to give it another day or two before we have a good grasp on the tornado risk, but expecting some strong winds and hail, heavy rain as well. But because we haven't really seen a ton of snow or rain lately, the flooding risk is not too great either. So to recap the precipitation chances, we'll see some Wednesday night into Thursday, but especially Friday and Friday night, that's the best chance of rain. But then look at the weekend, very dry, especially the second half of the weekend. Might see some lingering rain Saturday morning, but the rest of the weekend looking very good. and looking very good temperature-wise as well, as we could hit the lower 60s. Monday looks like the best day, but obviously many people probably work Monday. And then as we get towards Tuesday of next week, we have another chance of storms, and right now it does look like we are going to be seeing those temperatures fall, but a lot can still change between now and then. We're still going to see about 5 to 7 days of very mild temperatures, with every day through Tuesday getting at least into the 40s, if not the 50s, and in some cases the lower 60s.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Jacob. Spirit of Service, a reminder, is back. News 3 Now and Vortex Optics are looking to recognize a local veteran who is going above and beyond in service to others. We have 32 veterans nominated so far for a total of 162. From today until March 22nd, we're accepting nominations for local veterans who are making a positive impact in their community. And then from March 30th through April 12th, the voting will take place. We'll announce the winner live on News 3 Now this morning on April 15th.
Coming up on Live at 4, we are learning more from police about a suspect who shot 2 people inside of a Milwaukee emergency room.
And then we're continuing to follow rapid developments in Iran as U.S. soldiers, including hundreds of Wisconsin National Guardsmen, are involved in operations.
And we hear from one Wisconsin school involved in a lawsuit against the Wisconsin State Legislature over funding.
Watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Let's take a look at the numbers on Wall Street today. Red across the board. The Dow was down 403 points. The Nasdaq lost 232. The S&P 500 is down 65.
6 U.S. service members have been killed so far in the war in Iran as it enters its 4th day.
The State Department is urging Americans in the region to get out if they can. The developments come as Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and others brief Congress. Aaron Navarro is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
As strikes continue to rock Iran's capital city, President Trump defended his decision to use military force.
If we didn't do what we're doing right now, you would have had a nuclear war and they would have taken out many countries, because you know what? They're sick people.
In the Oval Office Tuesday, the president also pushed back on Secretary of State Marco Rubio's remarks that the U.S. got involved because Israel was planning the strike, triggering retaliation from Iran.
Based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first, and I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced Israel's hand.
Israel sent troops into Lebanon Tuesday as the war widened, and Iran launched retaliatory strikes across the region, including a hit on the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia. The State Department urged Americans in 14 countries across the Middle East to get out if they can.
We're going to unleash Chang on these people in the next few hours and days. You're going to really begin to perceive a change in the scope and in the intensity of these attacks.
Here on Capitol Hill with Secretary Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and others, briefing all members of Congress, Democrats wanted answers on the administration's justification for war and its endgame.
There seems to be no clear goal, an objective that is achievable without a prolonged, forever war that envelops the entire region.
I am troubled by the lack of a rationale. Is it the nuclear program? Is it missiles? Is it regime change? Is it oil?
Both the House and Senate are set to vote on war powers resolutions this week that would require the president to seek congressional approval for any continued military action against Iran. Aaron Navarro, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And when asked by reporters who he thinks will take over now that Iran's supreme leader has been killed, President Trump said, quote, "Most of the people I had in mind are dead."
Tens of thousands of travelers remain trapped in the Middle East. Many tourists found themselves stranded because airspace in the region is either closed or severely restricted. Some flights resumed out of the United Arab Emirates today, but some Americans who were vacationing in Dubai are still looking for a way out.
We've had several flights canceled. We are now scheduled to go out Thursday at 2:30 in the morning. And you know, we don't know if it's going to happen or not. So they definitely don't want you to go to the airport until you get official word that your plane is going to be departing.
The State Department has urged Americans in more than a dozen Middle Eastern countries to leave the region if they can.
In Milwaukee, there was chaos at a local hospital after a man shot 2 people inside of an emergency room. Police say it happened early yesterday morning at Aurora Sinai Medical Center. 2 people were shot, one suffering life-threatening injuries. Police arrested a 38-year-old man. A woman who lives near the hospital says security screening, including metal detectors, is routine at the facility.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, how they got it through the metal detector. It's one thing I was not expecting, but it's not the first time they've had problems like that over here.
Aurora says it worked with law enforcement in response to the situation, and care is being provided for those affected.
Right now, it's not an official diagnosis. Social media use disorder isn't classified as a mental condition like gambling or substance use disorders.
But experts say more evidence is mounting about the impact social media has on the mental health of children and teens. Mandy Gaither has ways parents can help create a healthy digital balance.
It's not all bad. Social media can help children and teens create connections and be creative. But since their brains are still developing, it also comes with some risk,
including exposure to racist and sexist content, unrealistic beauty standards, disinformation, and cyberbullying.
Tamar Mendelson with the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says parents can help create a healthy digital balance for young social media users by filling their time with in-person activities. That includes phone-free meals with family when possible, healthy bedtimes, and after-school clubs or sports.
Encouraging or requiring in-person activities can be more effective than simply banning social media because it offers concrete and hopefully enjoyable alternatives.
Next, Mendelson says to choose quality over quantity. She says because everyone is different, it's not possible to set a blanket time deemed safe to spend on social media. Instead, encourage positive online spaces that affirm their identity and expand their social circle.
This can be especially useful for young people with marginalized identities, including LGBTQ+ youth and youth with disabilities.
Finally, be aware of concerning behavior, including increasing amounts of time spent on social media sites if it's interfering with daily tasks or it's difficult to get them off these sites. Mendelson says persistent preoccupation with social media is also a problem.
Those are red flags that parents and educators should pay attention to.
I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mendelson says social media can help young people find mental health support as well, as long as they're getting it from reputable sources. She says it's important parents also use privacy settings and parental controls to help limit youth use.
When we come back, coming up on Live at 4, more developments out of the Middle East as hundreds of National Guardsmen, Wisconsin Guardsmen, are part of the fighting.
Then we hear from the Beloit School District and why it's involved in a lawsuit against the Wisconsin State Legislature.
Plus, Governor Tony Evers is calling a special session at the Capitol to act on partisan gerrymandering, the power the governor has or doesn't have to press for action.
But first, Jacob is back with the first warn forecast as we are eyeing alert day conditions later this week.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4. It was kind of a gloomy start to the day, but the sun's poking out now.
Yeah, it's coming back out. The weather words for today, let's take a look outside. Oh, they're like just a sheet of ice right on the edge of the water there.
They look like they're at the beach.
Yeah, they do. It's a nice place to have a little perch. The weather words for today, getting warmer and turning unsettled. And Jacob is watching on alert day, possibly for Fridays. The spring showers coming a little early.
Yeah, we're going to see potentially our first chance of severe weather this season, this upcoming Friday. But we're going to see some pretty nice days and nice weather up until that point. And even after that point, it's not going to cool down, at least from Friday's system. Might cool down a little bit later. Now, looking at the current radar, seeing some light sprinkles across parts of far southern Wisconsin. But for the most part, we're pretty dry. This is not going to be a big deal. We'll continue to see the clouds clear up over the next few hours. By the overnight hours, we are going to see mostly clear skies with just a few few peaks of, or just not a few peaks of sunshine, just a few clouds here and there. Now, as we take a look at the current temperatures, very comfortable, very easily above average for this time of the year, although the average high is starting to get into the upper 30s now, rather than the lower 30s and upper 20s at the beginning of February. But we're still above that level. Some areas further to the north that have seen more sunshine today are in the 50s at this time. Now, we're going to see a lot of 50s tomorrow, but we are still going to see a relatively cold morning. Not too bad by any means, as lows will drop into the upper 20s to lower 30s. Then looking at tomorrow, here's Madison's forecast specifically. We are expecting 50s for a lot of the area, and we'll see a lot more sunshine compared to today as well. But then we talk about those rain chances towards the end of the week. There will be two. I'll talk more detail about both of them and give you the weekend forecast as well coming up a little bit later.
Thanks, Jacob. As the war with Iran enters day 4, U.S. Central Command says new strikes have taken out key Iranian military sites while Iran continues to strike back across the region.
Officials say the fighting has killed 6 U.S. service members, 11 people in Israel, and more than 780 people in Iran. The State Department has closed its embassy in Kuwait indefinitely and is ordering the evacuation of non-emergency personnel and family members from several other Middle Eastern countries, including the United Arab Emirates. Defense officials confirmed during a Pentagon briefing today that Wisconsin Army National Guard units are currently deployed to Kuwait and Iraq, operating under U.S. Central Command. The deployment involves approximately 650 soldiers from 2 Wisconsin battalions.
In a statement on social media, Governor Evers says this: as we continue monitoring the war in the Middle East, Kathy and I are praying for the health, safety, and safe return of our Wisconsin National Guard members currently supporting ongoing military operations overseas. He says we urge Wisconsinites to join us.
Schools and a handful of other groups are actively suing the Wisconsin State Legislature.
It's over whether the legislature has adequately funded schools. Eric Franke joins us with the story. Eric.
That's right, Brady. Susan, early last week, a coalition of schools, teachers unions, advocacy groups, parents, and students announced this lawsuit. It states the legislature has not properly funded schools as more and more school districts go to referendum. The lawsuit, filed in Eau Claire County Circuit Court, it could end up before the liberal-controlled Wisconsin Supreme Court eventually, but Beloit was one of the schools involved in this lawsuit, and we spoke with their interim superintendent, Dr. Wayne Anderson, about his district's position.
If the state doesn't find additional ways to give us funds, then what's going to happen for us is it's probably going to look at us closing down schools, because as our population shrinks because we can't offer programs, that means those students are going to look for other districts because of open enrollment that may be offering programs that we had to cut.
Now, if you go back to 2024, that year Wisconsin saw a record high 241 referendums on ballots all across the state. 169 of them were approved by voters. And while on For the Record this Sunday, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos called the idea of suing preposterous and says the court's forcing the legislature to use taxpayer dollars goes against everything the founders intended. Susan?
Eric, thank you. Meanwhile, Governor Evers held a special session in the legislature on partisan gerrymandering. In 2023, the Wisconsin Supreme Court tossed out the state's legislative maps, finding them unconstitutionally gerrymandered. And then in 2024, Governor Evers signed off on new maps. The governor is now asking legislators to pass a constitutional amendment. Before an amendment can even make it in front of voters, it must pass the legislature in 2 consecutive sessions.
Well, Wisconsinites finally have fair maps today. If the legislature doesn't act now, our maps could go right back to being rigged, and Wisconsinites could go right back to living under some of the most undemocratic maps in America.
The governor has called several special sessions during his tenure, but he does not have the power to make lawmakers act on the issues.
Wisconsin lawmakers are pushing a plan to tackle a growing backlog of criminal cases by hiring more than 100 new court workers statewide. According to reporting from Wisconsin Public Radio, the proposal would add assistant district attorneys, public defenders, support staff, and new circuit court judges. Supporters say it's about protecting the constitutional constitutional right to a speedy trial, as felony cases still take nearly 8 months on average to resolve. The bill now heads to the Republican-controlled Senate for consideration.
In Beloit, a single crash involving a semi that was carrying milk left no one hurt. Police and fire crews say they were called to 4th Street and Portland Avenue on the west side of the bridge. Parts of the road were closed, but the bridge did stay open.
In this week's Time for Kids, we are springing forward with success. Daylight saving time goes into effect this Sunday, and now is the time to start preparing your children if you haven't started already. SSM Health Janesville pediatrician Dr. Dan Beardmore says gradually adjusting bedtime by 15 to 20 minutes over the next few days can make the spring forward transition much easier, especially for toddlers and babies. And if you forgot to plan ahead, hey, don't panic. Dr. Beardmore says stick to a consistent bedtime routine and limit screens before bed to help reset your child's body clock. He says the biggest challenge often comes after the clocks change.
The biggest issue that we might see is that as the spring weather returns and the days get longer, daylight savings time adjustment often leads to it still being light out at our kids' usual bedtimes, which is a big challenge for a lot of families. They just continue to really focus and emphasize the routine, make things consistent.
He says even losing an hour of sleep can add up over time, so keeping routines steady can help children adjust more smoothly.
It is amazing how much of a transition it is, how difficult it can be. 1 hour.
We will all be zombies next week.
It'll be darker in the morning, but then it'll be lighter in the afternoon.
Worth it.
Spring is almost here. Coming up next on Live at 4, there's still time to be part of the biggest online day of giving for community shares of Wisconsin.
The Big Share continues through midnight with bonus events and live music still ahead tonight. Josh Sprider has that story in the 608.
And it was dry today, but the First Warn Weather Team is watching rain and thunderstorm chances on the way. Jacob will tell us when we can expect this unsettled weather when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Well, we are taking a live look at Honolulu, Hawaii.
Now you're talking.
Can all dream, right? The weather there is 77 and partly clear. That's kind of chilly for them, isn't it?
That looks pretty clear.
Yeah. This island is home to the only royal palace in the United States. Honolulu also translates to sheltered harbor.
Well, the Big Share is happening today in the 608.
Josh Sprider is in downtown Madison with how you can support dozens of local nonprofits.
There is still plenty of time to be able to give for the biggest online day of giving for Community Shares of Wisconsin. We are talking about the Big Share today, and Sherry Dubio with Community Shares is joining us today. Sherry, how are things going?
Everything is going great. It's been a wonderful day so far, and we're excited to continue. The event continues officially until midnight, but the website will stay open for another week if you find out later, or if you decide to give a little later and you forgot you wanted to support somebody, you can still go to thebigshare.org for another few days. Other things coming up this evening. We are going to start some live music at the studio that will be streaming starting at 6 o'clock. We'll have an Irish band, and headlining is Bear in the Forest, which we've had him and his band at our event for the last few years. Finally, we are having a Big Share giant after party at Giant Jones starting at 7:30, and Giant Jones is a great friend of Community Shares. And at this after party, you can sing karaoke, you can win prizes as individuals, and then anybody who sings karaoke will be entered into a drawing to give an extra donation to the charity of their choice.
Oh, that's so huge. And I mean, we're talking about a big online day of giving, dozens of nonprofits, a big number, 82 this year?
82 member nonprofits. We added 16 new nonprofits at the end of last year, and so this is our first year with such a big influx of new member groups participating. So that's very exciting, and so far we're seeing some wonderful impact.
And you know, you mentioned a $5 minimum donation, and really there's no too little of a donation, right? Like all this money can really make a big difference.
Absolutely. And that's the key with the Big Share is with the $5 minimum donation, we hope that anybody can participate. And again, if participating with a cash donation or a credit card gift is not in the cards for you right now, please share about it online, share about it on your social media. And again, the website you can go to is thebigshare.org to learn more.
Yeah, we have that up on channel3000.com. Why is it so important for folks to give right now?
Well, I think the current political climate is really invigorating a lot of people in the community to support causes like community shares and our member nonprofits. And one of the things that motivates me, and I think definitely has an impact on our fundraising totals, is this feeling of a need to do something. And so the Big Share is a great opportunity to do something. No matter where you are, we have people that make donations actually internationally. You can be sitting at home on your sofa, on your recliner. You can be at work, take a break at lunch and give online at lunch. At the coffee shop, like we are here at Cargo Coffee. So it's a wonderful day that is inclusive and gives thousands of people. Last year we had about 5,000 donors. We're hoping to have even more than that this year. And all these people are coming together on this one day to celebrate nonprofits working on justice and a healthy environment.
Yeah, it takes a village to be able to make things happen. And we're going to do it, Sherry. Thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Josh.
And again, if you'd like to learn how you can help the Big Share, you can go to the story up on channel3000.com. In downtown Madison, I'm Josh Breiter, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Josh and Sherry. And you can also watch Josh every morning and noon right here on News 3 Now.
Let's head over to the Weather Center now. All is quiet today, but Jacob, you're watching a chance for possibly some thunderstorms on Friday.
Yeah, and this could be really our first big chance of severe weather of the season. But before that, we will see some showers Thursday, and before and after this storm activity Friday, we're going to continue to be pretty mild, although there is a drop in temperatures a little bit later in the forecast. But looking at the alert day for Friday, it is for the potential of strong storms with hail and gusty winds being the most likely hazards. Right now, we are including a small tornado risk, but the tornado risk won't be as clear until we get a little bit closer to the event, but certainly expecting some strong storms and also some heavy rain along with it. So looking at the forecast, this is starting tomorrow morning, showing that we'll see plenty of sunshine tomorrow with maybe a little bit more cloud cover for areas to the south. Then late tomorrow night into Thursday, we'll see some light rain move through our area. This is not expected to be a big deal. Best chance of rain Thursday will be in the morning, but then as we get towards Friday, here comes that heavier rainfall from the west moving across our area once we get towards the late morning and afternoon, and we're going to continue to see the chance of some showers and thunderstorms into the overnight hours. It looks like that first round Friday afternoon will feature the strongest storms with some heavy rain as well, but lingering showers and even a few more isolated thunderstorms could be possible later in the night. And then as we get towards Saturday, maybe some lingering rain in the morning, but most of it will have cleared out by the afternoon hours. So looking at the severe weather hazards, again, wind and large hail will be the most likely hazards, including a small tornado risk. And as far as flooding goes, rain could be heavy at times, but because we haven't seen a lot of snow and rain lately, the flooding concern isn't too high. So as we take a look at the rain chances to kind of recap it all, Wednesday night into Thursday, this will be mostly light rain. This Friday into Friday night, that will be the thunderstorms and the alert day. Weekend, though, looking very dry at this point in time, and the temperatures will be very nice during that time period as well. Really all week we'll see nice temperatures, highs near 50 tomorrow and Thursday, then near 60 for Friday. They'll drop a little bit for Saturday, but still going to be very mild, and then they're going to possibly get into the 60s for a few days in a row for Sunday through Tuesday. But I did mention there was that fall in the temperatures toward the end of the forecast, and you could see next Wednesday and into the end of next week, we may even be seeing the return of some snowfall.
Thanks, Jacob. Babies Beyond is once again teaming up with News 3 Now for the Community Baby Shower. The Madison nonprofit helps hundreds of families navigate pregnancy and early parenthood. It's collecting diapers, baby clothing, and other essential supplies to support families across the region. You can donate March 2nd through the 6th and help give local babies a healthy start. For a list of what's needed and drop-off locations, just go to channel3000.com.
NASA says it found a galaxy that might have more dark matter than ever discovered.
Oh, yeah, scientists say the Hubble Space Telescope detected what they're calling Candidate Dark Galaxy 2. They think it might be made up of at least 99.9% dark matter. That matter is invisible, but researchers have ways of inferring it's there. Sounds like a movie, doesn't it?
It gives you a headache, doesn't it, trying to figure that out?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out life down here.
Yeah, right. Stay with us. We'll have the biggest stories of the day coming up in the afternoon sprint. It's 4:53, time for the afternoon sprint.
As the war with Iran enters day 4, U.S. Central Command says new strikes have taken out key Iranian military sites, while Iran continues to strike back across the region. Defense officials confirmed during a Pentagon briefing Wisconsin Army National Guard units are currently deployed to Kuwait and Iraq, operating under U.S. Central Command. The deployment involves 650 soldiers from 2 Wisconsin battalions.
In Madison, a woman was thrown from her car after a crash with a dump truck on the Beltline this morning. It happened around 10 o'clock on the Beltline between Rimrock Road and Park Street. When first responders got to the scene, the woman was alert and taken to the hospital.
Wisconsin lawmakers are pushing a plan to tackle a growing backlog of criminal cases by hiring more than 100 new court workers statewide. According to reporting from Wisconsin Public Radio, the proposal would add assistant district attorneys, public defenders, support staff, and new circuit court judges.
And here's a look at the 10-day forecast. Tomorrow, very nice with highs near 50. We'll also have highs near 50 for Thursday with the chance of showers. Then we have that alert day Friday where we could see the potential for severe weather. The good news is that most of that will clear out for the weekend. Lingering rain Saturday morning, but the rest of the weekend looking dry and very mild, I should point out, especially early next week where we could see a few days in a row in the 60s, but we do have that cool down at the end of the forecast.
Yeah, we saw that. Another one of those big drops. All right, thank you, Jacob.
A look at what we're working on for News 3 Now at 5 after this. Coming up at 5, gas prices continue to climb across the world amid fighting in the Middle East. We look at what the gas prices are doing here at home. And there are proposals to move Highway 51 to expand the Dane County Regional Airport. What they look like and how supporters say it could help reduce noise in Madison. Well, thanks for watching Live at 4 today. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.